Hi everyone, Jane Viscolosi here. I am recording a class for you, everyone, who tunes into my YouTube class. I am dedicating this class to a few groups. First group, my Saturday morning 7:30 a.m. flow friends. Every Saturday morning, winter, spring, summer, fall, there is a community that comes together before the hour of 7:30 a.m. to flow Baptiste yoga style. That's my first group, and I'm in our room by myself during this COVID virus time in our lives. I don't like being in here by myself, but I'm here by myself. I'm happy to run through a class for you to do at home. I think it's very, very, very important and necessary to get on a yoga mat as much as possible, maybe even twice a day right now. My second group, back row friends, middle row friends, and front row friends. My dedicated yogis on Tuesday nights at Providence Power Yoga after work, the 5:45 p.m. crew. They really like to flow, especially that back row. They add in their own push-ups, they add in their own arm balances, and I invite you to all do that at home as well. Just be safe, be mindful. My third population is near and dear still to my heart. My family from years ago, probably 5 years ago now, at Rafa Yoga, where I taught for 12 years. I was a new teacher and then a more intermediate teacher by the time I left, pretty veteran. And I had the same crew, the same family come to take my classes, and it's just such a great memory. So for these three populations, this class will flow. If you can think in terms of breath per movement, one inhale, an exhale, we'll be moving in and out of poses on inhale and exhale, Vinyasa style. And do your own thing at your own pace based on how your body feels on the day that you chose to tune into this recording. All you need is a yoga mat. If you have something like blocks, maybe some blocks or something like blocks, I have two here. And I have a strap. You can use a towel or a belt is nice. If you don't have a mat, you can use a beach towel or the carpet. You don't need much for yoga. Bare feet, right? Don't need anything much. Don't need any weights, but you could add some weights in. I did that the other day, adding weights into my yoga class. So without any further ado, this class will be about an hour, maybe just a little bit more, and we'll see how it goes. So I invite you right now to start in child's pose, which is pose number 1 in Baptiste Journey into Power. We start with child's pose. So come onto your mat, take your knees nice and wide. I'll be changing views from front to side, but for right now, child's pose, knees are wide, and sit your hips back onto your heels and your forehead down onto your mat. Settle your hips back, heavy, settle your forehead, and if your forehead doesn't touch your mat, you might even stack up your hands on your forehead onto your hands. I'm not used to teaching, or I should say practicing when I'm teaching. I might be doing a little of both today. I've been taking a lot of online classes, and honestly, sometimes the teacher that I tune into, I don't even look at the poses, the postures, but listen in and follow along that way. If you need to look to get a demonstration, look for alignment or something, you can do that, but really it's your body, it's your practice, and it's your time. So right here in your child's pose, with your knees spread wide and your hips heavy back to your heels, check in with your knees and make any personal accommodations using your intuition. So if your knees hurt, use your intuition and come up a little higher, or whatever your intuition guides you to do. Now breathe in through your nose. The breath is the practice here, more importantly than I think anything. Use the breath to help yourself relax during these times of being at home so much. And in New England, the weather's been kind of dark and gloomy, although the sun is out today. But use your breath to awaken your body into pockets where maybe they've been sleeping or you've been sitting differently, sleeping more perhaps. The breath of victory, right? The breath is really the practice. And from Baron Baptiste's book, Perfectly Imperfect, you stretch your body out in child's pose and you can make your way to downward facing dog or tabletop at any point in time. And I'll just read this to you. What we call I is just a swinging door which moves when we inhale and when we exhale. Your breath is the key to unlocking your body's potential. Maintaining steady rhythmic breathing is the single most important element of yoga practice. The practice here is to begin to see your breathing in relation to the actions you're taking. It requires something extraordinary for any of us to really get to a true and connected relatedness to our breath and the impact of it on our body, our energy, and movement. As you become skillful at matching your breath to your movement, the two will no longer feel separate. Rather, one thread that carries you through the fabric of your practice. Downward facing dog if you're not there yet. Lift your hips up high and stretch your chest back towards your thighs. When used consciously, your breath becomes pure, raw energy that sweeps through you like a cleansing wind. With every inhalation, you bring new life into your body. With every exhalation, you can clean house. As your breath, your way through your practice, let me read that again. As you breathe your way through your practice, you send signals to your brain that you are calm and you are safe. So doesn't that sound good for the times that we're in these last 4 weeks? Come into Ragdoll at the front of your mat and hang right over your legs, grabbing opposite hand to opposite elbow. So in Ragdoll, you want to have your feet hip width distance apart for more stability and less chance to fall one way or the other, right? So stability, your ankles are underneath your hips in Ragdoll. And I don't know about you, but in my upper back and in my neck, I feel a lot of tightness. So take your hands behind your neck and use your hands to knead into the skin, like you're kneading dough, right? Kneading, K-N-E-A-D. Kneading the muscles right into feeling the skin, the muscle, the bone. Ooh, so much tension in my neck. I don't know if you can relate to that or not. Now interlace your hands behind your head, interlacing your fingers. Have your hands be weight on the back of your head. And then think about stretching out your spine bones by using the weight of your head. Take your hands now and place them on the backs of your lower legs, onto your calves, and go ahead and do the same thing. Squeeze blood flow into the backs of your legs. Right, using your arm muscles, squeeze your legs. Let your head hang and maybe bend one knee and then the other. So we're just finishing up integration series. And you can do this with no video, right? You just wake up in the morning or before you go to bed at night. Child's pose, downward dog, and ragdoll. Release your hands down on your mat, toe heel your feet closer together, not necessarily all the way. And then with bent knees, right, maybe that accommodates your hamstrings and your lower back better, or with straight legs, hands on your hips, root down on your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Inhale, extended mountain pose, take your arms up over your head, and then bring your hands together at your heart center. While you're standing here on your 2 feet, really press your feet down into the earth. So feel that support. Feel that firm energy, right? You know it's there all the time when you need it. Something bigger than yourself to hold you up. We could certainly all use some of that right now. And now take a deep breath in through your nose. Empty that out of your mouth. Remember that exhale, letting something go. Sighing is powerful if you feel like you have some of that in your body. Some angst, sigh, exhale, scream, cry. Just don't scare those who you live with. Now moving energy, and what I was referring to earlier was the inhale and the exhale and moving at that pace. Think in terms of a pendulum hitting each side. The inhale, we hit one side of the pendulum. The exhale, we hit the other side, and we keep going back and forth. And the breath is the thread. The movement is to shake things off. Heavy, right? Shake, whether it's the coronavirus, the weather, being around the house so much, maybe around my family wants me to go to work, right? My 2 dogs and my husband, they are not used to having me around. Moving into the awakening series, no matter what time of the day it is. Right now in Rhode Island, it's 3 p.m. Move your body differently than what you've been doing today, right? Let's go. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale and fold. And if you don't need to look at the video, don't bother, just listen. Halfway lift, breathe in. Place your hands on your mat, and you can walk back, you can lunge back, or you can hop back to a high push-up. Come down into a low push-up, and again, you can have your knees down or knees up. Face your chest upward facing dog. Some of you might choose the cobra where you're down lower on the ground, or upward dog, and then everyone come up and back into downward facing dog. Organize your downward facing dog. And when we get here, after one sun salutation, we typically take a few breaths to regroup, right? To reset. Speaking of set, come into your high push-up, high plank, and really fire it up. Add in your tapas, add in your heat. Tapas is heat. The heat that burns the old energy. And now from your plank, don't move your hands or feet, lift up your hips and create your downward dog from your plank. Now take a deep breath in. As you exhale, move your feet to your hands. You might add a little jump. If you've ever practiced with Ryan here in the studio, he always comes right up to handstand as he jumps forward. You can do that too. Exhale and fold over your legs. Sun salutation, Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift. Hug in your belly. Hands on your mat. Chaturanga is low push-up. Face your chest upward. Stretch out the front of your hips. Downward facing dog, exhale. Settle in here and allow for the spinal opening. Right, you see the spine behind me? We cannot see our spine. That's why I brought one with me. Right, we cannot see our spine. It's so important. It's where all of our nervous system runs through it, right? Take a deep breath in, maybe a couple of hops, hop, hop, and jump to the front of your mat or walk. Halfway lift, breathe in, hug in your belly, and lengthen. You could even lengthen your arms back. Exhale and fold over your legs. One breath, one pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, right to the low push-up, chaturanga. Inhale, face upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Your breath pace is different than mine. You move in a rhythm that matches up your breath, your body, your movements. Downward dog, inversion, with the weight of your head, 10 pounds, making space in between the spine bones for the nervous system. This deep breathing, take a deep breath, bend your knees, a couple of hops, up to the front of your mat. Halfway lift breathing. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, reach up. One more sun salutation A. Exhale, fold over your legs. This breathing is so good to activate your halfway lift, parasympathetic nervous system, chaturanga. Face your chest upward, inhale, downward dog, exhale. So the parasympathetic nervous system is rest and digest. It's really hard right now. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to rest fully and digest everything that's going on when my whole routine is upside down. Take a deep breath in, hop, 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 jump, or walk to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold down. Head towards your shins. Okay, everyone, bend your knees. Hands above your knees. Sitting into a nice low chair. Take your arms out in front of you. We're going to move into Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salutation B series, and we'll be really waking up right here. Stand all the way up, go back, exhale and fold over your legs. This is where we add in the powerful poses. Warrior one, halfway lift, breathe in. Reach to your mat, chaturanga. Now you can always step back, right? You don't have to jump. Knees down or knees up. Lower your push-up. Maybe you're coming down to your mat. Inhale, lift your chest, whatever your posture choice is based on your body right now. And then find your way back to downward dog. Your right foot, start to make movement so that your right foot steps towards your right hand. And then one big step, come forward, look at your back heel and bring it down on the ground. Bend your right knee down to 90 degrees, one breath. Inhale, warrior one. Hands down on your mat, step back to low push-up, face up. This is the Vinyasa part of the class. Downward facing dog. Your left foot, try it without a big swing from above. Stepping, how far can you step your left foot to your left hand? Maybe you pick up your foot with your hand, bring it forward. Left, right heel, down on your mat. One breath, inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands on your mat, step back, low push-up. Face your chest up, downward dog. Right, so here we become beyond awake and more lively. You guys feeling it? Feeling like the jumping is a little more accessible, baby? The heat's turned up. Okay, Vinyasa style. Sun Salutation B. Taking a deep breath, bend your knees. Look towards your thumbs, walk or jump in that direction. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold and exhale. Chair pose, inhale. Remember the pendulum, here's one side. Exhale and fold to the other side. Half lift, breathe in. Chaturanga, low push-up. Face upward, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Right foot, warrior one. Hands on your mat, step back, low push-up, face upward, inhale, downward, exhale, left foot steps, reach up. Hands on your mat, step back, low push-up, face up dog, downward dog. Take a very deep breath in and out. Now, if ever you'd like to catch your breath or stretch your back or gather your thoughts or emotions, you come down into child's pose. Child's pose always available to you. I've got my thankful cup of water there. Thankful for that. And now, get a drink anytime you need to. But try to keep your attention on your yoga and not anything else going on in the house right now. Right, that's the hardest thing for me to do. One more sun salutation B. Take a deep, deep breath in. Hips point up. Sitting points point up. Hands press down. Breath in through your nose. Walk or jump close to your hands. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Exhale. Fold out. Chair pose. Breathe in. Exhale. Fold down. Half lift. Inhale. Hands down, chaturanga, low push-up. Face upward, inhale, downward dog. Right foot, right away. Rise up to warrior one. Hands come down on your mat, low push-up. Face upward dog, downward dog. Left foot steps, reach and rise up. Hands on your mat, low push-up. Face upward dog and downward dog. Together we inhale and exhale. Remember, your modifications, your adaptations, your accelerations. In your downward facing dog, relax your head and neck and shoulders. So slide your shoulders up your back, away from your ears. With your legs, get your legs really active. You see in between your knees, your inner knees are spiraling backward. Pull yourself off your wrists. I've had enough wrist pain for a lifetime already over the last couple of years. So keeping your wrists sloping long, right? Not like you're in a plank. So use your legs, spin and spiral them back. Moving into the next series. Center your left hand more towards your right hand. Center your left foot more towards your right foot. Reach your right leg up in the air. Bend your knee. Now, you have a choice. You can stay right here, or you can heavy your right foot, spin your left foot, and come into a flipped over. We call this flipped over dog. The upper hand, reach it towards wherever direction is where your eyes are looking, either up or behind you. And now flip your body over, coming into a side plank. You can put your right knee down or keep both of your knees up. Spin your body into a side plank pose. Right, so you're gonna stack your legs, pull your toes towards your face, take one more breath. Both of your hands on your mat, downward facing dog. Take your left leg up, let's do the other side. Move your right hand towards your left, your right foot towards the left, heavy left foot, flip yourself over. And then, if this is really messy, take your knees down. Your hips down, sit on the ground. Reposition your hands and your feet. And then build up from there, right? So it's kind of like a wheel with 3 posts instead of 4. Take a deep breath in, reach, and then flip your body over, coming into your side plank. Stack your feet, and it's important to imagine you have one leg. Lift up. Strengthen and lengthen, brighten, right? And calm yourself down. Take a breath, and now both of your hands down on your mat, downward dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Lift your head up, and then just like a ragdoll, drop your head down. Step on the palms of your hands for a second. Speaking of wrist health, step on the palms of your hands. This could be fun. This is called gorilla stretch, gorilla pose. Really good for your wrists. Okay, moving in to another series. We're going to add in some twisting. Bring your hands forward, come into downward dog. Reach your right leg up in the air. Step your right foot to your right thumb. That takes a lot of practice. Your left leg, especially if you have tight hips, right, from sitting down and from driving. Back leg is nice and long. However, your back foot is a little out to the left, so you're not on a tightrope, right? So your feet are like hip width distance apart. And now come on up as you root down into your feet. Come up into your crescent lunge. Different from warrior one. Take a breath. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, prepare yourself. Exhale, take a twist. Elbow to thigh. Palm on palm, elbow over elbow. And then squeeze your belly into your spine. Open your arms nice and long. Take one breath. Come up and around into a warrior two pose. Reverse your arms. You might even take your eyes back. Extended right side angle. So your right hand, right knee, left arm nice and high. And now bring both of your hands down on your mat. Step back. You can go to downward dog. You could go to puppy stretch from here. Or you could flow and take the low push-up to the upward facing dog to the down dog. Let's all meet in down dog. Your left foot, lift it up so your heel lifts up. And then step your foot forward. Back heel stays lifted, but you might want to take your foot a little over to the right. Inhale, your arms come up. Exhale, your hands come to your heart. Bend your right left knee. Inhale, get yourself ready. Exhale, twisting. Right elbow to left thigh. Stack elbow over elbow. Hand on top of hand. And now breathe in. And then suck your belly in. Open your arms. Take a breath. Come out of this up into warrior two pose. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Right, so you might not be able to see yourself, but in that mindful direction. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Take an inhale. Here's one end of the pendulum. On the exhale, hands down, and you find your way back to the downward facing dog, making your personal accommodations. A deep breath in. Bend your knees. Look forward, walk or jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, turning up the heat even more. Exhale and fold down. Separate your feet a little bit. Coming down and sitting into a mini chair, little chair. You can draw your arms back for a moment, inhale. And the positioning of your pelvis. It's not around. So here, right, is compression in the front of your spine. So lift, the tail goes back. Hands to your heart, loop the shoulders down your back. Now take a breath high into your throat. And on the exhale, twist left over right. Hand on hand, elbow over elbow, hips back. Take a deep breath. Maybe you're able to smile right here. Fake it if you have to, right? Open your arms long, one breath. Exhale and fold over your legs. Grab with your peace fingers here, your great toe, with the palm facing inside. Place your thumb and your big toe mound down on the ground. Same thing, left hand, grab the big toe, your palms are facing each other, both of your thumbs are on your mat. Inhale, lift your chest, draw the shoulder blades together in your back, pull in your belly, and then be careful, be cautious, folding over your legs, stretching your hamstrings, and then lean forward, lean forward. Leaning forward, get the maximum amount of spinal stretch. And now release your hands. Toe heel your feet. Take your left leg high and your hands down to the ground. Lift your right heel up and maybe you start to hike yourself up into some handstand. Handstand. Go ahead, do a couple of lift ups off your bottom heel. Lift up, lift up. I have a wall right here, you might not. And you might take a handstand, oh, right up against the wall. Right, have a little fun. This time, right here. And then easy, come into your ragdoll. So, I've learned in handstand and headstand that I ignore my intuition sometimes, and I go all the way over. And I haven't really injured or killed myself yet, and I don't plan to. So listen to your intuition so you don't topple all the way over. Notice when you're over-efforting to try to perform something or accomplish something. I've done that before and hurt myself, right? So take the ego piece out of it and just have fun. Inhale, get your back flat, tail lifted, belly in, twisting over to the other side. Elbow to thigh, palms flat together, elbow over elbow, and draw your right hip, your right knee back. It's not easy. Shine your chest forward, open your arms, one deep inhale, and then fold over your legs. Take a deep breath in and out. So heat, right? Building internal heat, firing up the tapas. Burning off what's tired, what's aggravated, what's frustrated, what's grieving, right? Burn it off. And this practice is great to create a clear slate. All right, you guys want some more handstands? This is your only left opportunity as I'll present. You might do them again later, but for right now, pick a leg and decide if you'd like to hop up a little bit again. So, hands under shoulders, leg goes up, heel goes up, and then hoist yourself up. Hoist yourself up. Pull in your belly, right? And again, handstand. And now come into ragdoll. Right, so it's baby steps. Today, you might have just been lifting and lowering, lifting your heel and lowering, or maybe little hops up off your foot. Okay, so just in case your world gets shifted upside down, like it's doing now, you'll be ready. Whew, my heart rate's up. Who said yoga was always slow and, you know, just like lying on your mat? No, there's different kinds of yoga. Find one you like. All right, toes come together, hands on your hips. Root in your feet, feel that? Rooting. Straight legs or bent knees, rise to stand up. With your ears over your shoulders. Actually, let's start from the bottom. With your knees above your ankles. With your knees below your hips. With your hips below your shoulders. And with your ears back, in line with your shoulders. Now lift up energetically. There's an energetic lift up. And now place your thumb and first two fingers on your, the sort of like the intersection of your rib cages and soften them in. Soften the ribs down. Squeeze your leg muscles, really hug muscle to bone. Eagle pose, moving into the series of calm determination. Equanimity, arms reach up, arms go out like T. Lift up your right leg, cross it over your left, which I haven't talked about yet today, this video. Setting your eyes to one point. So just as much as breathing is a really big part of this practice, so is the eye gaze to one point, right? Drishti. Release this side. Sweep your arms up if you like, or keep them low. Other side. Left leg squeezes over the right, left elbow under the right, palm to palm if that's possible, or fingers to palm. And now just balancing on one foot in the midst of a storm. In the midst of a storm, is it harder these days to stand and balance on your yoga mat? Right, that could be. And now release your arms. Inhale, your arms come over your head. Eagle pose, right leg over, right arm under. Maybe your right fingers go inside your left palm or grab opposite shoulders, that's nice. And then use your mind's eye, or you could use your hands to square your hips up. Take a full deep breath in, and now release. Other side, last eagle, left leg over right. Maybe right here before you lock your arms up. Get your hips and belly and tail points down, shoulders over hips. So it's mountain from your ears to your hips. Left elbow under. Eagle, in Sanskrit, Garudasana. Garudasana, the eagle. Now, setting the vision like an eagle, far, far into your life. And this time of home, stay at home, good time to plan your life out when we get released, right? When we get our freedoms back, and then release your hands and feet. So maybe you live in Rhode Island and you're listening to the same governor. Maybe you're living in another state and you're listening to the rules. Stay at home, wash your hands, all of that. Right now it's wear a shield when you're out in public. Okay, left hand, left hip. Right hand, right knee. Stand up with your belly really pulled in. Actually, try letting your belly hang out. Notice how that feels and what that does for you. It's like your stomach is in Shavasana. Not yet. Active stomach muscles, core. Knee as high as your hip. Left arm out to the side. So you could take right here and open your knee out to the right, or you could reach for your toe, and you don't even have to have a straight leg, but how about a bent leg? And bring it out to the side, balancing on one leg. Setting your breath, inhale and exhale. Setting your gaze to one point, moving mindfully. Turning up the heat, reach the arms up. Come back into airplane pose. Kicking your heel back as if you're pressing your foot flat against the surface behind you. And now lift your arm bones and stretch your chest like an upward facing dog. I'm not going to fall down. Yes, I am going to fall down. And then half moon. Falling into half moon, no big deal. Okay, so you might have a block right here, very helpful friend. You could try your water bottle, but be careful. And if you like, grab your upper foot, heel to your behind, and then heel away from you, kicking towards the wall behind you, stretching out. Take one more breath, and now release your foot and come up to stand up. Whew. Hands to your heart. Other side. Right hand on your hip, left hand on your left knee, stand up tall. So here you have the mountain on your whole right side. With your peace fingers, reach for your great toe. Stretch your leg out a little or a lot, assisting balance with your right arm. And now open what you have to the outside. Stand up tall through the top of your head as you root down into your right heel. Come back to center. Both of your arms and your leg lift. And now fly back, because this is the only airplane I'm going to be on for a long time, right? Our poor airline industry and the places that are sunny and my vacation places, I won't be seeing you anytime soon, but this airplane is pretty good for now. And then open up. So bring here to your half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, your fullest self-expression. Hooking your leg if you like, you don't have to. Heel towards your behind, pull your belly in, and then stretch your heel away, kick your heel away from your backside. Right? Feel the stretching. We're all going to feel these poses differently in the body. Take a breath, and now gently release, come up to stand up. Hands to your heart, really nice. Lift your shoulders when you inhale. Lower your shoulders when you exhale. Left arm up to the sky. Right foot behind you. Grab your foot and bring your knees to touch. Start to kick your right foot back and lower your left hand down. This is dancer's pose. Right, so you're reaching and you're surfing. Some of you like to surf. Right, we have beautiful beaches here in Rhode Island. Pretty soon, surf your gaze right over your fingers. And could you get your toe to appear over the top of your head? And then release. Whew. Other side. Right arm is up. Pick up your left foot, knees to touch. So get your balance nice and tall. And then flipping your palm towards the front of your room. Maybe you're outside on the deck, right? To the bushes, to the neighbor's house. Kick your foot, kick your foot. Kick, kick, and you're looking for your foot over the top of your head. Kick back, kick, kick, and release. Right foot, tree pose. Equanimity. So tree, take your right foot high on your left thigh. I notice that my left hip pops out. Bring it up. Hug your thigh to your foot to your thigh. Hands to your heart. Branches in the sky. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay, right? It's going to be okay. We want our world back in our hands a certain way. Right? What happens if that doesn't happen exactly? It brings up lots of frustration for myself. Again, maybe more grief. So how do we deal? What do we do? I'll tell you what we do. Feel what you have going on, right? So these are tips from experts to feel what you have to feel, what's going on with you without ignoring or numbing. You acknowledge, and what feelings do is they move through, is what I'm learning as I'm trying to survive what's going on, right? And trying to understand and not get anxious and anticipate and have things a certain way. So it's that. And it's also being very present to what is. Like, what is happening underneath my left foot? I feel very slippery yoga pants, right? That's happening. Right? What else is true? What else is true? I'm in this room by myself. Right? It's April 4th today. Take a deep breath. 2020 turning out to be a very interesting decade. And then bring your hands to heart and both of your feet down on your mat. Awesome. Okay, let's move. Inhale, reach your arm. That wraps up the Equanimity series. Exhale and forward fold over your legs. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, low push-up. We're moving again. Face upward inhale. Some of you know the flow and you know where we're going. Step your right foot forward. Right foot forward. Come into warrior two. Come right up into warrior two. And then on this warrior two, stretch out your right leg, bring your right hand on your right shin, and your left fingers up. So your front leg is straight. And your hips are fitting between two panes of glass. And this is Trikonasana, the triangle pose. Triangle, it's a big pose, so try to brighten up in all directions, both arms, both legs, and then your torso through your head. And now come up to what we know as straddle, five-pointed star. Hands on your hips, take a breath, chest up. Exhale, fold forward, catching your hands to your mat, creating two 90-degree elbow bends. Bend your elbows and bring the top of your head down on your mat. Maybe it's not there yet, right? So working to stretch out your hamstrings, leaning forward. Some of you, you'll straddle up. You just straddle. I've got a clip in my hair, but some of you might just straddle right up, right up, right up into a headstand, and then come down. That's not in a good spot there. Hands on your waist, lower your chest, rise up to stand. Turn your right toes forward, step your back foot in, and square your hips. Two flashlights, same direction. Hands behind your back. Can you interlace your hands? If not, a towel, a strap, a belt, something like that. Right, your hands behind your back. You have tight shoulders, celebrate them, don't get mad at them. I used to get so mad at my muscles when I started doing yoga. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, fold right over your leg. What does your front leg need? Does it need a bend? Go ahead and bend it. Release your left hand down, take your right arm up, twist towards your side wall. Just one breath here. And then now both of your hands down on your mat. Come back into downward dog. Inhale, high push-up. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, face your chest up. Exhale, face your chest back. Left foot steps forward. Warrior two. Extend your front knee. This is setting up for your triangle. So your hips go back and your left hand reaches forward. Your body's fitting between two panes of glass, so your hips come underneath you. And then reach up, look up. So I practiced today. I actually practiced today with my teacher, Baptiste, and thousands of people from all over the world on a call, a Zoom call, right? We're all doing classes and meetings online, Zoom. And it was a fundraiser for the Baptiste Institute to donate to first responders. So my body felt so good after that I was inspired to do this class. Come back up. Face your toes, straddle pose, pigeon toe your toes. Take a deep breath in. Look up. Go ahead and stretch your heart up for a back bend, and then come forward and down, right? So thousands of people all over the world. I got to see some Baptiste teachers I haven't seen in a long, long time on the Zoom class, right? It was so awesome, raising money. All the yogis there, yoga teachers, most of us, and families of yoga teachers raising money for first responders. So grateful that they go to work and take care of who needs it. So maybe you want to try straddle again. If you can get your head down the ground, if not, work on being right here. You get your head down, lean forward. All right, this time the clip is going, right? And you might straddle up, 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 up. Feet active, feet active. Woo! Intuition, stop me. I still would have recorded this class even if I fell over. I'm still going to record this class and put it out there for you. And then how about a little bent knee side to side? Right, this is the real deal. This is my offering today. Do not hurt yourself. I didn't get to have you sign a waiver at the studio today, so please don't hold me responsible, and please take your own personal responsibility. Yoga, right? Be light-hearted. And then go ahead and bring your hands up on your hips. You might want to have your strap close by again if you need it. Turn your body towards the front. Loop your hands behind your back. Take a breath. On your exhale, fold over your left thigh. Drawing your left hip back. Lifting your arms up. Stretching your chest, your collarbones, towards your big toe. And then notice if your left hip is way over to the left, pull it in and pull up your pelvic floor. I haven't mentioned about that yet, but the belly in and the lift of the pelvic floor, those are bandha locks, bandha locks. And then release your arms if you like. Block is helpful. Oops. Block is helpful. Getting a little messy. As soon as I took the clip out of my hair, I'm letting myself get messy in the camera. Okay. From here, bring your feet way wider than hips distance. Right? Wider than hips distance. Have just your heels on your mat. And some of you will be able to do this without a block. Your toes are out at an angle, and you come into a squatting position. With your hands to your heart and your elbows opening up your knees. Right, so inner thigh stretching, heart lifting, chin up. Eyes open your eyes. So even if you're just here, right, with the video on and my voice, and there are some other people maybe practicing, this isn't a Zoom class. This is to be done when you have time. But even if you're doing something different right now, it's okay, right? Do something different. You might have weights in your hands, do a bicep curls. You might be in child's pose, whatever it is. But see if you can dedicate an hour to yourself without jumping up to do the laundry, going to take care of somebody, unless they really need it. Right? The dog wants to go outside, maybe the dog can wait. Stay with yourself, stay with your mat, stay with your breath, stay with the heat, stay with feeling your feelings. This is what we do on a yoga mat, and then process them through. Okay, come on up, and then come on down. Onto your hands and knees. Create an arch in your back, and this is the belly to the earth, so this is a cow pose, and now the cat stretch. Tuck the chin, and then lift, right? Feel your spine. You see the spine behind me? What's happening, right? What's happening to your back? Cat stretch, cow stretch. Right? It's very good to keep the spine fluid and flexible, right? The discs, hydrating the discs. Spacing for the nervous system, right? So important to know and to take care of your spine. Cover up the electrical outlet. Okay, now from here, keep your hips up high, walk your hands out, and tap your forehead down. Some of you, if your shoulders don't bother you and you have the flexibility, lower your chin down on your mat. Chin down. And now come forward, come down onto your mat, and then lift up your ankles, and then lift up your arms. Lift up your ankles, lift up your arms, lift up your ankles. Now lift everything up, everything up. So creating a bend, a back bend. And then reach around for your feet, grab your ankles, lift up your thighs, lift up your chest and eyes. Kick your feet. Take one more breath, right? So good to strengthen your back muscles, to prevent the rounded back in our everyday posture, right? Full deep breath in and out. Okay. Prop yourself up onto your forearms. Curl your toes under and then lift up into plank. Try to keep your ears lifted in line with your shoulders, your belly squeezing in and your pelvic floor squeezing up. Remember, the bandhas, the locks. Very helpful. Breathing in, breathing out. Right, breathe in to hit one end of the pendulum. Breathe in, it rings, and then breathe out to ring to the other side of the pendulum. And then now lower your knees down, your hips down. Tuck your chin into your chest, round your back up. Come up onto your hands and your knees. Sitting back on your heels, take your knees to touch. Some of you might choose a block. Sitting on your block now with your knees in front of you and your ankles long. This isn't that comfortable. I've learned through some friends that they have tighter ankles, so I never really felt it there, but you see how that feels for you. You can always put another block if you have it, or a towel, or pillows, right? And then sturdy pillows, shoulders roll back, right? So what is your everyday posture? And where are you more strong and where are you more flexible? And how about thinking of your whole skeletal structure with even muscles all the way around, and even strength and flexibility muscles all the way around your bones, right? That's awesome. It's a really good direction physically. And then now if you could move the block or pillow, separate your ankles more. This is hero's pose, this is knee therapy. Sit down in between your ankles, and some of you might be able to come down onto your forearms behind you. Right, so knees are squeezing together. Feeling the stretch in your quadriceps, hip flexors, maybe the rib cage. Some of you might be able to take your shoulders all the way down. Just depends, don't force anything. I don't want to have your knee bones popping through your skin, right? And then coming back up. So this is just a good way to open up the thighs for your bridge. So now come on up. Downward dog is a really good stretch after the hero's pose. And then come on to your backside. And blocks are good in bridge. You could squeeze a block between your thighs. And then what you could do with the other block is prop it underneath your back after. So set up your heels under your knees. Make sure your head is still on your mat. Tuck your shoulders underneath you and come up into your bridge. Right, so the block between my thighs is helpful for me not to splay my hips apart, which happens because these muscles are so strong compared to the inner thigh. And another block option for bridge is underneath your low back. And you might take one leg up. Whether you have a block under you or not, doesn't matter. Take one leg up. You could even cross it over your leg for a little hip stretch. Or just stay in your bridge and press your feet forward and your thighs forward. Hear the sound of your breath in and the sound of your breath out. And now lower yourself down on your mat and rock your knees from side to side. Breathe in and breathe out. If you'd like to try a full back bend, wheel back bend, take your hands, so your heels by your buttocks, maybe a little wider for this. So where are you on your mat? And then your hands by your shoulders. I'm a little crooked on my mat. Make sure your hands are on your mat. And then press up onto your head And then press up into a full wheel back bend. You could lift your heels up. And then when you're ready, come on down out of your wheel. Bring the soles of your feet together to touch. And let your knees open up to the sides of the room. This is butterfly, reclined butterfly, or Supta Baddha Konasana. And now place your hands on your fingers open wide, like your ribs are in your body. And I'd like you to breathe 5 rounds of breath. Notice what happens when you breathe in. Your lungs expand. If I could bring another model of body part along with my spine, I would bring it a model of our lungs, because we can't see our lungs. And I mean, for me, and especially in what I do for my full-time job and my work, what's so important for all of us and for my colleagues in construction, strong back, healthy lungs. So 5 times, inhale, expand, exhale, clear. Inhale, exhale. If this bothers your lower back, bring your knees higher. Inhale, exhale. Force some air into your low lungs where the coronavirus is really targeting, down into the low lungs and making breathing difficult, impossible sometimes. Breathe in, breathe out. And now lift your right knee in your chest, and then your left knee in. Lift your head and shoulders up, hug your knees in. Hands behind your head, stretch your right leg up, your left foot down, or your left leg out in front of you. Pulse your shoulders off the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. This is the stability portion of the practice. Switch your legs 10 more times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in. Keep your head and shoulders up, side to side, elbow to knee. Get your elbow across your thigh. Pedal your heels. Twist your shoulders. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in, head down. Rock your head side to side. All right, so spine, lungs. What else we need to keep healthy? Arms by your sides. How about our mind? So important. If I could bring right next part of the body to bring a model of the brain. Okay, flex your feet. Have your feet be like a V, right? Like a victory. And then lower your ankles down, lift your head up. And lift your legs up, lower your head down. It's like a little seesaw. Lower your legs down, lift your head up. Use your core muscles. Lift your legs up, lower your head down. 2 more. Lower your legs down, lift your head up. Lift your legs up, lower your head down. Last one. Lower, lower, lower. Head up. Slowly lift, 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 lift. Knees into your chest. Whew. Okay, rock up, rock back, rock up, rock back, and now sit up and hold your knees. Lift your chest, hold your knees, balance on your sitting bones, set your eyes, pull your belly in. You know what's really fun? Take your peace fingers, grab your great toes, stretch out your legs, right? And then bring your shins, as you bend your elbows, bring your shins towards your nose towards your shins. And if you rock back, it's okay, right? And you come back up, holding your toes, and you do it again. Awesome, very good. Okay, cross your ankles, hug your knees, and tuck your chin. Come into downward facing dog. And take your right leg up in the air. Right leg rises. And then take your right knee forward towards your right wrist. Let's see what's a good view here. I want to teach you this pigeon stretch. If you know it, you just do your pigeon stretch, okay? But nice stretch is to sit down on your right hip, bend your left knee a whole bunch, like 90 degrees. Take your right foot forward, your right shin. Okay, so parallel to the front edge of your mat. And now square your hips like a warrior. So my left foot is coming way forward. My knee is right up almost to my heel for pigeon. And then with your hips square, start to bow and come down onto your forearms. I already feel the stretch in the outer hip. You may not, right? But for my hips, this is a nice place to start. Doesn't mean I'm going to end here. Trying to keep my hips square, I'll begin to stretch my left leg back and turn it under, right? And then I'm leaning way over to the right, so I'm going to let my right heel come in somewhat so I can lift up and come onto my forearm square. This is intense for me, right where I'm at, and so you feel into your leg and your hip, front leg and back leg. Curl the back toes under, and you can lift your knee up for a second to shift your right knee back, and then tap your knee down and drop your head. Use the heat that you've built up in your body for this deep stretching. This is the opening series. Not meaning it's the beginning of practice, meaning we're opening muscles of the hips. Okay, downward facing dog. You could take the right leg high if you like first, and then lower the right leg down. Left leg up. Left knee to left wrist. Bend your back knee, sit on your left hip side, and then parallel your foot to the front of your mat. Okay, so I'm going to take my back leg way forward, just so I can sit up straight. This is my way overused side. This is my dominant side. This is my leg driving, right? Gas pedal side. My years of spinning class, dominant leg, in and out of the clip, in and out of the clip. So much, right? Feeling it. Feeling the imbalance between the two hips. And now, just sitting here for a moment exploring this, I'll start to send my right leg now back. And for me to get my leg all the way back, I need to bring my left heel in towards my groin to sit up. And a prop under the hip is nice. This block's a little thick, you have something thinner. Prop it underneath your hip, if you like. And always be mindful of protecting the knee on this one. So flexing your foot helps the knee, always. Now roll your right hip down, curl your back toes under, so your foot is active, and then bow. Practice your breath like you're hitting each end of the pendulum. Each side rings. And maybe at the ring on the right, the ring on the left, you hold a breath for a pause. And hold the end of the exhale. And now come back up onto your hands, take your left leg up in the sky, shake it out. Come down onto your mat with your feet out in front of you, sitting up nice and tall. Take your arms up high, and now forward fold over your legs. And you might even rock from side to side. Rock your sitting bones like you're walking backwards on your sitting bones, pulling the baby toe edge sides of your feet back, using your thumbs to press the big toe forward. And of course, any amount of bent knees. And right here for a moment, you can bring your attention to your low back, but not just your spine bones, or not only your spine bones, but also your kidneys. Giving your kidneys some breath, some rest. And some calm, right? Calming down your kidneys. Sit up nice and tall. With your hands behind you, your feet down. Rise your hips up, open your throat. Coming all the way down on your mat. Lie down. Right knee into your chest. Spinal twist over to the left. And you can take any variation, bent knees, straight leg. Your body, your body. Come back up to center. Left knee into your chest. And spinal twist. You can bend your knees, hold your knee. Stretch your leg, bottom or top, or both. And let's breathe together, me and you. Breathe in. Biggest, longest exhale with a sigh. Come back to the center. If you have a pillow or any kind of a prop, place it under your hips with your legs up high. Waterfall, right? Your legs, blood, right? So not just your legs, but so it's leg energy, but even blood flow, right? Blood flow, waterfall, like a waterfall. Changing, 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 changing patterns, flow, right? Underneath your skin. Changing energy and knowing that things are always changing. And sometimes these changes that happen, right, I learned in my own experience, always speak of my own experience, is that sometimes the change is good. It's all working out. It's great. This is the change I benefit from or I line up with. And then sometimes the change that's not lining up with or all good and feeling all right. Feet down, hips down, lie down. What I've learned through my yoga teachers and my studies and my practice is that nothing is permanent. the good, the other. It just is. So we've learned that nothing is permanent. And I've learned that it's really good for me and others to not be attached to anything, any certain way. Let it come, let it roll, let it flow, let it pass. Next up, let it come, let it flow, let it go. And what's next after that? Gift yourself 1 full minute here. Your mind may be wanting you to run and do something. 1 minute, 60 seconds. Now begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to make circles with your fists, your hands, and your feet. And move your head from side to side. And then roll over into a fetal position on your right side. Stay here. Hug in, fetal position, nice and safe and secure right here. Get yourself ready to push your left hand down and come up and sit up. Sit up with your hands on your lap, and your eyes can be closed or your eyes open. And I'll end practice this, whatever, morning, evening, afternoon, midnight, whatever time you had to get onto YouTube for a while. And I'll close with a reading from Journey to the Heart by Melody Beatty. And this reading this one's from September 26th. Trust even the dark moments. While on our journey, life can sometimes get bleak. Dark passages may envelop us. These moments, expect these moments. Often they come at the deepest period of working things out. It can be from a time of despair, frustration, dead ends, anguish, and angst. Sometimes these moments are brief, sometimes they last a long time, but usually they are necessary. Plan on these moments. They are not the end of the journey. They are the passageway through the tunnel and into the light. In just a little while, you will feel, you will see, you will know the purpose of what you're going through. Soon it will be clear. You will move out of the darkness and into the light. Trust even the bleak times. When you reach the end of the tunnel, you will know why this all had to be. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth and allow your shoulders to come way down. Keeping your shoulders down, bring your hands to your heart. And take a moment to find something for yourself to be grateful for. It's a good way to start and end the day or yoga practice. And bring your thumbs together at your forehead, your third eye. So we talked about earlier, follow your intuition, third eye. We all have it. Take a deep breath in, lift your chin up on this one. And on your exhale, we bow and we say together, Namaste. Namaste. I am very thankful for you. We can take a sip of water together, whatever you have in your cup. And be well, everyone. And we'll see you soon with the next video.